Guys, they signed another guard. They signed another guard. The Indiana Fever have signed guard Shatori Walker-Kimbrough, the team has announced. She won a championship with the Mystics in 2019. Most recently played for the Dream in 20.
Look at that reaction. That's not analysis. That's genuine panic from someone watching a franchise make the same mistake over and over again. The Indiana Fever just signed another guard, their 8th guard heading into training camp. 8 guards, 3 forwards, 1 center. And the question everyone's asking is simple. What are they thinking?
Guys, I got to tell you, I was in a panic because I was afraid the Indiana Fevers did not have enough guards on this team. I was concerned about it. I mean, after the Raven Johnson draft pick, that added a guard, and we got Caitlin Clark, we got Kelsey Mitchell, we got, by the way, Ari McDonald, Odyssey Sims, still out there without jobs. So understand something. We could be talking about a...
Here's what makes this fascinating. This isn't some random commentator throwing hot takes. This is someone who's been tracking every single roster move the Fever have made since drafting Caitlin Clark. And watch his face when he talks about the front office playing chess, not checkers. He's being sarcastic. Because what comes next completely contradicts that statement. The Fever had options. Real options. Erica McDonald, a massive fan favorite, sitting unemployed. Odyssey Sims, another proven guard, also without a team. They could have brought back McDonald as Caitlin's backup and called it a day. Instead, they drafted Raven Johnson at pick 10. Then they signed Shatori Walker-Kimbrough, another guard.
He's going to miss the season again. My team is funny as hell. Are you kidding me? All we're signing is guards. I mean, let's just go over here. Collecting short guards like gold coins. I don't know what we're doing. I don't know what we're doing. Just a guard in every position. Just put them all out there.
Shatori Walker-Kimbrough won a championship with the Washington Mystics in 2019. That's legitimate playoff experience. But here's the problem. In 2024, with the Atlanta Dream, she averaged 1.7 points per game in 8.6 minutes. Those aren't starter numbers. Those aren't even rotation numbers. She's a depth piece, a veteran presence. Which would make perfect sense if the Fever needed depth at the guard position. But they don't. They have Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, Raven Johnson, and multiple other guards already on the roster. Meanwhile, every other contender in the league is adding size, length, and versatility.
I mean, all these other teams got these bigs. We're signing another guard. So is Caitlin leaving or something? I hope we get a trade request announcement because the rest of the teams are stacking and we're playing. Another guard. Let me guess, another guard, you effing morons. You do not care about winning at this point. Nah, this is wild. How badly do you want Caitlin playing? Laughing my effing ass off, another 5'9" guard. Malicious, incompetent, stupid. Oh, God. We can't make this up. That's me.
This is where it gets personal for Fever fans. Because this isn't just about one signing. It's about a pattern. A pattern that suggests the front office either doesn't understand modern basketball construction, or they're planning for something nobody's talking about publicly. Think about the math here. 12 roster spots. 8 guards. That means 2/3 of your entire team plays the same position. In a league where teams like the New York Liberty are stacking wings and bigs, where the Las Vegas Aces just added Chennedy Carter to an already dominant core, the Fever are collecting 5'9" guards like they're going out of style.
Are they bringing Punked back right now? And the Fever front office is just punking the entire fan base? Wow. Asia Wilson. Somebody asked me earlier, hey, I haven't seen the Las Vegas Aces add Asia Wilson's 1.4 million supermax to her, to their salary cap. What's going on? Well, Sham Charana once again outscooping.
Now we need to talk about Asia Wilson. Because while the Fever are making questionable depth signings, the Aces just locked down the four-time MVP with a 3-year, $5 million supermax contract. That's the largest deal in WNBA history. Fully guaranteed, negotiated by Clutch Sports. And here's what matters. Sam Amick broke this story before every single WNBA journalist, just like he did with the CBA negotiations. The Aces aren't messing around. They have Asia Wilson locked up through 2028. They have a championship core, and they just added a player who changes everything.
After we all know what happened with her and Caitlin Clark, Chennedy Carter to sign with the Las Vegas Aces. Got to be honest, guys, it's one of the more shrewd moves I have seen in a long time. She is a complete wrecking ball of a player, and she scores at will. She is dynamic. I know a lot of people, look, I did not like the fact that she was out of the league. I know a lot of my fellow content creators also didn't like it. None of us liked it. I know CDS thought she should be in the league. Ben Daniel thought she should be in the league. I thought she should be in.
Chennedy Carter is back in the WNBA, signed with the Las Vegas Aces. And before anyone starts with the moral arguments, let's be clear about something. This is one of the shrewdest roster moves we've seen in years. Carter went to China and routinely dropped 40 points. She's a complete wrecking ball of a player who scores at will. She's dynamic, explosive, and absolutely belongs in this league. Yes, what happened with Caitlin Clark was unacceptable. It shouldn't have happened on a basketball court. She should have been suspended. But then she should have been back in the league. Because the WNBA desperately needs talent, and Chennedy Carter is a top 10 scorer in this league.
She seems, in my opinion, maybe she's learned some lessons. I don't know. I do know one thing. She went to China and dropped 40 routinely. And we talk about Kelsey Mitchell and her dynamic scoring. Chennedy Carter can score just like Kelsey Mitchell. Make no mistake about it. She's dynamite. And
Watch this part carefully, because this is where the reality check happens. Multiple content creators, people who cover this league every single day, all agreed that Chennedy Carter should have been in the WNBA last season. Not because they condoned what she did, but because in a league where some players are genuinely unwatchable, you don't keep one of your 20 best talents on the sidelines forever. The punishment should fit the crime. Suspension, yes. Permanent blackball, no. And now she's on the Aces, which makes them even more dangerous.
My issue was simple. Whether anybody liked it or not, and I did not like what she did to Caitlin Clark. And I will never have condoned that. I'm not ever going to condone it. It shouldn't be on a basketball court. It shouldn't be allowed to happen on a basketball court. But she should have been suspended and then back in the league. And my issue was, in my opinion, one of the top 20 best players in the league. And I think you could argue, well, there's no argument. She's a top 10 scorer in the league. Was not in the league. In a league that badly needs talent, because at times, some of these players are unwatchable.
Here's the uncomfortable truth about talent distribution in the WNBA. Chennedy Carter is arguably a top 20 player in the entire league. There's no argument that she's a top 10 scorer, and last season she wasn't playing. Think about that. In a 12-team league with only 144 roster spots total, one of the 10 best scorers was sitting at home. That's not justice. That's just bad business. The league needs stars. It needs players who can create their own shot, who can take over games, who can make highlight plays that actually get views. Chennedy Carter does all of that, and now the Aces have her.
Back to the Fever, because I think a lot of people are assuming Oh well, it's Caitlyn, and I look, Caitlyn may win the MVP. I doubt it because I think Stephanie White's going to cost her that. But she's talented enough and could and can win the MVP if she's playing for the right coach. But Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston, Sophie Cunningham, Lexi Hull, that is not enough to win the title. Not with what the Liberties put together, not with what the Aces have put together. And guys,
let's talk about what the Fever are actually up against. The Liberty have a super team. The Aces just got significantly better with Chennedy Carter joining Aja Wilson. And then there's the Atlanta Dream. Say whatever you want about Angel Reese, but that Dream roster is stacked with length and athleticism. They have size at every position. They have versatility. They have the kind of roster construction that wins playoff series. Meanwhile, the Fever have Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston, Lexi Hull, and a bunch of guards. That's not enough, not even close.
There it is. Chennedy Carter is back with the Aces. Holy shit. I mean, good luck.
Caitlin Clark might win MVP this season. She's talented enough. She's proven enough. But here's the catch. Stephanie White might cost her that award. Coaching decisions matter. Rotations matter. And if White is trotting out lineups with 3 or 4 guards on the floor at the same time against teams with legitimate size, Clark's individual brilliance won't matter. You can't win games when you're getting destroyed on the boards and giving up second-chance points because you're playing small ball in a league that's getting bigger and more physical every year.
Guys and gals, the Dream, we can look, we can hate on Angel Reese all we want. That dream team is stacked. And guess what? Has a ton of length on it. Fever ain't got no length. Really? Where's our depth?
Here's what makes this entire situation so significant. The Fever had a clear path forward after last season. They had Caitlin Clark establishing herself as a generational talent. They had Kelsey Mitchell proving she's one of the best scorers in the league. They had Aaliyah Boston developing into a legitimate two-way center. The foundation was there. All they needed to do was add complementary pieces. Wings who can defend multiple positions. Bigs who can protect the rim and rebound. Versatile players who fit the modern game. Instead, they went in the complete opposite direction. They drafted Raven Johnson, a guard, with the 10th overall pick. That's not a bad player. Johnson is talented, but she plays the same position where the Fever already had depth. Then they signed Shatori Walker-Kimbrough, another guard who averaged fewer than 2 points per game last season. These aren't moves that address weaknesses. These are moves that double down on what you already have too much of. Now let's compare that to what the championship contenders are doing. The Aces locked up Aja Wilson with the biggest contract in league history. Then they signed Chennedy Carter, one of the most dynamic scorers available. That's 2 moves that directly make them better. The Liberty retained their core and added depth at positions of need. The Dream built a roster with legitimate size and length. Every contender is zigging while the Fever are zagging. And here's the thing about beat reporters and front office moves. When everyone is questioning the same decisions, it's usually for a reason. This isn't one person with a hot take. This is a pattern of roster construction that doesn't match what wins in today's WNBA. Small ball works in the NBA because those guards are 6'3" and can shoot over defenders. In the WNBA, when you're running out multiple players under 6 feet against teams with size, you're asking to get dominated in the paint. Watch that initial reaction again. That's not manufactured outrage for content. That's genuine frustration from someone who wants to see the Fever succeed but can't understand the logic behind these moves. 8 guards, 3 forwards, 1 center. That's not balanced roster construction. That's not modern basketball strategy. That's a team that either has a plan nobody else understands, or a team that's making mistakes in real time. Scott Agnes and other Fever beat reporters are going to have to explain this to fans all season. They're going to have to justify why the team keeps adding guards when the obvious need is size and versatility. They're going to have to watch Caitlin Clark put up incredible numbers while the team struggles against physical defenses because they don't have the personnel to match up. What makes this particularly awkward is the timing. This is happening right as the WNBA is experiencing unprecedented growth. Ratings are up, attendance is climbing, new fans are discovering the league because of players like Caitlin Clark. And the one team that should be capitalizing on that momentum, the team with the biggest star, is making roster decisions that have their own fan base questioning the front office's competence. The Fever could have added Erica McDonald and given Clark a backup who the fans already loved. They could have drafted a big at pick 10 and addressed a clear positional need. They could have signed a veteran wing with playoff experience. Instead, they added more guards to a roster that already had too many. That's not chess, that's not even checkers, that's just confusing. This dynamic is going to define the Fever's season. Every time they get out-rebounded, fans will point to the roster construction. Every time they struggle against bigger lineups, the criticism will intensify. Every time Caitlin Clark has an incredible game but the team loses because they couldn't defend or rebound, people will ask why the front office didn't address these obvious issues when they had the chance. So the question becomes, do the Fever know something we don't? Is there a master plan here that makes sense once we see it in action? Or are they genuinely making mistakes that will cost them a legitimate championship window with a generational talent? Because right now, while the Aces are adding Chennedy Carter and locking up Aja Wilson, while the Liberty are running back a super team, while the Dream are building with size and length, the Indiana Fever are collecting guards like they're preparing for a 3-on-3 tournament. And that's either genius-level strategy that nobody else understands, or it's organizational malpractice happening in real time. What do you think? Are the Fever playing four-dimensional chess with a plan we can't see yet? Or are they wasting Caitlin Clark's prime by refusing to build a balanced roster? Drop your take in the comments, and if you want more WNBA analysis that doesn't sugarcoat the truth, hit that subscribe button because we're covering every move, every decision, and every controversy all season long.